message from the Note to Self guy.
Happy New Year, everyone! Happy New Year!
Excuse me, mister. What's wrong with you? You're a bit early. It's December 30th, man. Not January the 1st, mister.
I know that, old dude. My episodes air on Wednesdays and Sundays. So I wanted to take an opportunity to say Happy New Year to everyone. If this is your first time visiting my channel, welcome. My name is Daniel Talley and I am the Note to Self guy. So, since you've never been here before, let me explain to you what this channel is all about. The Note to Self guy channel. Basically what I do is that I take a problem, a situation, and or a sin. I act it out in skit form usually. And then I come in as the Note to Self guy, that being me, and I give brief scripture as to how to solve that problem, situation, and or sin. And then the participants in the actual skit, they then use that scripture to help to solve their problem. So in effect, what I'm doing is that I am showing the world that God's manual for living, that is, the Bible, has answers in it. It has answers to all of life's problems. Now, this episode is a little different.
Look, mister, why don't you make up your mind? You just explained what your channel was all about, and now you're flipping the script. Good Christ told Moses, man. Get on with it.
Look, you crotchety old man, are you going to continue to interrupt me?
It depends, doctor. If you ain't talking about nothing, then yes.
Anyways, let me give you my thoughts on 2020. You know, this year has been certifiably nuts. This year has been like a bad episode of The Twilight Zone. I mean, think about it. The coronavirus has impacted the world in great ways. Over 82 million people have been infected. Over 19 million have been affected in the United States alone. 1.8 million, over 1.8 million and counting have died. Over 341,000 have died in the United States alone. This disease is not playing, y'all. It is a social killer. In fact, it has impacted the way that we live. You know, I used to be the kind of guy that used to go out and give people handshakes and hugs and things like that. And you know, I can't really do that anymore because I'm afraid to catch the virus. And I'm afraid that if I have the virus and didn't know it, that I would give it to somebody else. So really, it has ultimately changed things. Not only that, look at it from the standpoint of economics. I mean, there are millions of people who are out of work. There are people who are just really having a hard time. I mean, they can barely pay their bills. Some people are on the verge of being thrown out of their houses or evicted from their houses. I mean, this virus is wreaking havoc, not only in this country, but worldwide. It's terrible. So face masks have become the new norm. And actually, I've made some pretty interesting observations while wearing these face masks. Number one, if you live in a cold climate, face masks really aren't that bad. Why? Because when it's cold outside, the face masks actually help to keep you warm. So that's actually a good thing. Now, if you're a guy like me and you wear glasses, that's a problem. Why? Because every time I turn around, my doggone glasses keeps fogging up and I can't see nothing. That's pretty terrible. The other thing I've noticed is that people do talk with their eyes. In fact, I could swear to you that I was in a grocery store one day and a woman was cussing me out with her eyes. So much so that I walked up to her and said, "Ma'am, I apologize for whatever it is that I did, because clearly you cussing my behind out." Now, this is not a political channel, but I have to tell you, I'm a little ticked off with the government. I mean, these guys can't seem to make up their mind about anything. They can't agree on anything. They can't even agree on what is best for the country. You know, they remind me of the two kids you have in your back seat. You know, you're driving on a long trip and one of them says, "Daddy, Daddy, he hit me." And the other one says, "No, you hit me first." And what do? You pull off the side of the road, you take your belt off, and you whoop the crap out of both of them. That's kind of what the Republicans and the Democrats really need. Maybe they need a good old-fashioned butt whooping. At the end of the day, note to all folks that are in government, stop playing around with people's lives. Pass this bill, get some money into people's hands, and help us to get out of this situation that we're in. I interviewed one gentleman who was around during the Great Depression, and I asked him, I said, "Sir, have you ever seen it this bad?" He looks at me, thinks about it a minute, and he says, "Sonny, I've never seen it this bad. It is absolutely terrible out here." Oddly enough, the stock market has continued to boom. Have you ever asked yourself the question, how can that be so? Let me see. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Millions of people have lost their jobs. Millions of people have lost their lives. People are at each other's throats. People are trying to figure out how they're going to pay their bills. And yet, the stock market is oblivious to all of it. It continues to roll. How could this be so? People, I'm nobody's prophet.
You get no argument from me, mister.
But you know, I'm more than a bit concerned. Lord, what are you about to do? What's coming? Is the rapture of the church coming soon?
Note to self, guy. If the rapture's about to happen, don't you think it's time for you and I to go out? I just love me some note to self, guy.
Truthfully, I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know this. It is time that we all get closer to God. But I got news for you. God is a gentleman. He will not force himself on us. We have to come to him of our own free will. Listen, I made a video that will help us all to increase our faith with the Lord. Now, I made this video back in 2019, but it's still relevant today. It is called 5 Steps to Increase Your Faith in 2020. Now, truthfully, if you and I will follow these steps, we can all increase our faith. Trust me on this one. It really works. Now, here's what the world needs. And you know, it's quite simple. When I read the Bible, it seems as though God had me in mind because he continues to repeat himself over and over and over. And what does he say? He says that we should love our neighbor as we love ourselves. And I got news for you. If we did that, all of our problems would pretty much be eliminated. Perhaps we should give it a try.
Good Christ told Moses, man. You're finally making some sense. Congratulations.
Good. Finally something to shut that old dude up. Well, again, Happy New Year, everyone. And let's do a better job of loving one another in 2021. Note to self, finish the year strong and take that momentum into 2021.